Get ready to start jumping up and down like idiots.
Greetings, brohams. What the dealio?
It's Madamus of the Back Library, streaming throughout every week, now with brand new time slots. Special enhanced time. Sparkles. Retro and modern game stream. Watch him fail. Yapping stream. He'll call you pretty. Cozy reading stream. Because he loves you. Bonus afternoon delight streams.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight.
New schedule posted weekly on X and YouTube. Go read it. All times scheduled in Eastern Standard Time. God's favorite time zone. Always streaming horizontal, never vertical. Just the way you like it. Follow, subscribe, like, watch, do the thing, have the fun.
You don't think anyone will misinterpret this ad, do you?
Madamus of the Back Library.
Greetings, brohams! What the dealio? Welcome to the Back Library. I am Madamus, former Cosmic Defender turned archive curator, and we have hit 2.7k subscribers. Apparently, we're about to hit 2.8k. What is... Yeah, you like that? I'm not sure. But they're happy about it, so should I be. We've just hit 2.7k. We're about to hit 2.8k. I am so humbled. Thank you to everyone who is subscribing. Hopefully soon we can start translating that into a bit more live viewership as well. I am just so humbled. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I really, really mean that. Yeah, it's amazing what you can do just by going on public domain assets channels and looking for things against a green screen. So at least I won't get copyright flagged for any of this random stuff. Here, let me go ahead and take us away from this and take us into the library main before the video runs out. Okay, yeah, that was a thing. Again, welcome to the Back Library. I'm Madamus, former Cosmic. 3K, so... Yeah, and you know, again, I'm humbled and everything. It's just, I'm gonna be honest with you, Red. I'm not trying to take down the tone. I don't know how I'm getting all these subs, and yet it's not translating to more live viewership. I don't know. So there must be some magic bullet that I'm missing, but I'm sure it'll get there eventually. Because, because, I mean, you can't keep getting subscribers if no one's watching, right? Right? Yeah, so today we are celebrating 2.7k subs, nearly 2.8k. We'll be at 3k probably soon, unless, you know, YouTube decides to start culling the subscribers, which could happen, and that's fine. It's expected. People just seeing your VOD and like and subscribe. Yeah. Hopefully, eventually they'll find their way to the live broadcast too. Yeah, that's what's unfortunate, I think, about running those ads and stuff for liking and subscribing is, you know, people like and subscribe. It doesn't, and some of it might be the YouTube algorithm. I know I'm a smaller creator, but I do see that whenever I check the live stuff, it doesn't really do any sort of notification or put me on the front page, at least from what I'm seeing, and that's fine. That's fine. Again, it is early days. Originally, YouTube is VOD, then live watching. Yes, exactly. And that's the unfortunate thing about YouTube. But, I mean, it beats Twitch in terms of not losing your VODs, because that's the thing. I want this content to still be there. Is my model colored right? Okay. I thought I had some weird color correction still turned on with the model. Okay. So today, for anyone who's lurking and for anyone who's VOD watching, we are revealing my original console. Now, first and foremost, this original console is not necessarily indicative of my age. I am not a boomer. Madamus is not a boomer. That said, Madamus's first console leans boomer. That doesn't mean I'm a boomer. It just means the console is the sundial was your first console. At least you didn't have to change the batteries. Unlike the Game Boy that I had that ran out of batteries last night, I need to replace my battery. I guess that is in my GBA because the rechargeable battery, I never replaced it, and it seems like it's finally caught up with it. So before I start showing it, let me say how this stream is going to work. This is going to be a slightly shorter stream, just because after this stream, I'm going to be following it up at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the finale of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. We're going to finish reading through that novel tonight. So this needs to be done before, so we will be finishing this special at probably around 9:45, give or take, Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to start out introducing the system, explaining its quirks, explaining why I learned about it, and with a slideshow. And then we'll do a little bit of game footage. So, let me head into the main browsing room, and we will take a look at, and this is one I don't think anyone would have guessed. People probably heard me mention it by accident at some point, even though I was saving it for a stream like this. This is the Atari XEGS. Now, you look at this thing, and first of all, it's half a computer. That's number one. That's the first thing to notice. I mean, keyboard. Second thing, I didn't know the Atari had, they had a lot. There was the 2600. There's a very rare 2700 that I don't know anything about. There's the 5200, the 7800. Those are all their hundreds. I didn't appreciate as much when I was younger as I do now. Then they had their computer line, which was the XE line, which they retooled into video game systems. Then later on, they had their last gasp with the Atari Jaguar, the 64-bit system that wasn't quite 64 bits. So the Atari XEGS, Atari was trying to beat the Nintendo Entertainment System. And the answer they came up with was to take one of their computers, their XL XE computers, and to retool it as the Atari XE video game system, marketing it as a game console that you could upgrade to a full computer using Atari's operating system. And they sold a floppy disk drive. I think they sold a mouse for it, etc. And the part of their marketing was because I've watched some of the ads on YouTube. I don't have any of them here, but the ads, they tried to portray the Nintendo Entertainment System as a baby's toy because of Rob, the little robot Rob accessory that no one ever used. And they tried to downplay how many games it had. And they tried to market this as being more towards adults. Hey, you're going to be playing adult games. You're going to be playing the big kid games on the Atari XE and with real arcade graphics, etc. and so forth. Not so much. It's got cool features, but it's got a lot of drawbacks. The main drawback is, I mean, it was no competition for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And the really good big games probably were on floppy disk. I would be convinced with just the keyboard. Yeah, well, and the keyboard, I've got a few games that use it, but not many. Most of the games don't even use it. If you had I wish I had the floppy drive, but which I don't. The floppy disk had more of the big games like Ultima and Ultima 3 and Ultima 4, which didn't quite make it to cartridge. And therein lies my learning experience with this. So when I had this as a kid, family only had, there were 6 games we had on it. The pack-in items, which I'll talk about in a minute, and the another 3 games. And the reason my parents only had a few games on it is they did not realize that this was backwards compatible with all of the Atari 400, 800, XL computer cartridges. So there was a whole library of games out there, and they didn't know it. And they would pass over them in Goodwills and everything. And it wasn't until I was a bit older even that I learned about it myself, that, hey, this was backwards compatible. Y'all missed out on a ton of games you could have picked up for pennies at Goodwill. Which I've got some of now. And we'll show some of those. But yeah, the initial system, it came with 3 games, which I'll show. A zapper, light gun, whatever, keyboard, and joystick, obviously. And if the Atari if the Atari 2600 with its wood grain symbolized the 1970s, the Atari XE with its weird angles and pastel buttons and light gray, I don't know if anything screams 1980s quite as much as this console does. But speaking of pack-in games, oh, and this is the I had to show this real quick. Man, you think power supply bricks were bad on things like the Sega Genesis? I'm telling you right now, this is a literal power brick. You could kill someone with this thing. And I think there are like USB made, you could get replacements for it that now that are USB powered, but holy crap. This thing had a power supply. The light gun, which is one of the weak points of the system. So the game came with, one of the pack-in games that came with is called Bug Hunt, which was a light gun game, which I can't use the light gun, have to use it with CRT. But even when I was just a little tiny Madamus, I remember playing this and I couldn't shoot any of the bugs. And it turns out that all of the light guns are defective. They all shoot, I think it's down and right, which of course, you know, little 3-year-old Madamus or 4-year-old, 5-year-old Madamus didn't realize any of this. So I was just shooting and it wasn't hitting anything. But it turns out the guns on these are all defective and they all shoot down and right. So you gotta shoot up and left in order to hit anything, which really, really sucks. The pack-in games were Bug Hunt, which I mentioned, Flight Simulator 2, and Missile Command. The calibration was a nightmare. Yeah. So I just thought I sucked. And the truth is I sucked, but it made me suck more. But as far as the pack-ins, yeah, you had Bug Hunt. Now, I don't have my original boxes for most games. I've got boxes for a couple of them that I've picked up in recent years, but that's it. Flight Simulator 2, which is basically, think Microsoft Flight Simulator in 1984 or 1985. It's got big, thick manuals, and it, frankly, for a kid playing it, it would not have been fun. That's one of those things that you can see where they were kind of trying to aim towards a more adult audience, but even a more adult audience, let's be honest, Flight Simulator games they're a niche. Man, I miss the game manual from PS2 days. Yeah. Well, and part of the problem too with this is, and with collecting for it is, as far as the things that were backwards compatible, the sizes of boxes and the sizes of manuals are all over the place. And likewise, the look of the cartridges are all over the place, which is one of the reasons why my parents never knew it was backwards compatible. Now, you'll notice with Missile Command, though, there is no cartridge sitting there. That's because Missile Command is built into the console. If you turn it on without the keyboard plugged in, or I think if you hold down Select and turn it on, it'll boot up Missile Command. And Missile Command can be joystick or trackball. I don't have a trackball. Greetings, Omegs. Welcome in. We're talking about the original Madamus game console. I am not a boomer. The Atari XEGS. which here, I'll back it up for you and anyone else who's just coming in. That's what the console looks like. If that doesn't scream 1980s, I don't know what does. And the power brick, which could kill someone. Yeah, we already discussed that. Okay, so missile commands built in. Oh, and before, well, actually, I'll come back to the joystick thing. Oh, Lord, never say. Yeah, I told you it was an obscure one. I told you it was a rare one. And the problem is it's one that when my parents got it, they didn't realize, and I said this before, but I'll say it again, it is pretty cool. Well, and that's the thing. I've learned to love it. I wish I would have appreciated it years ago. And there are, unfortunately, some really cool games, one in particular that I want, that they're just, the price is prohibitive now. There's some games you can get cheap, but some you cannot. I think the next is other game. Like I said, I don't have most of my old boxes, but I do had. Oh, I'll tell you about that in a second, Omegs. I already told Red about the Zapper problems. I did keep all my books, so yeah. Well, the problem with the Atari XEGS Zapper, Omegs, is that it shoots down and right, so you can't hit anything. The Zapper is miscalibrated, and it's not just mine, they all were. So, and the XEGS has like 3 or 4 Zapper games, and you can't hit anything unless you know to shoot up and left. How much does it cost now? I honestly have no idea, Red. Let me go take a look. Let me open up my eBay. I don't know. The games, I think, cost more than the... Well, I mean, that's the case with a lot of things. I think the games are more than the system itself. Atari XEGS console. Oh, darn it. It's not typing. Atari... Today, you can get a pre-owned one, I'm seeing, without the Zapper for... I'm seeing some even with the complete in box. I'm seeing like between 300 and 400. So between, you can get the system for about, now you can get for 300, 400. And that's a complete with box. I don't have the box, obviously. Most of my games don't have the boxes. I do have the books for any ones that had the books. And as you can see, the book sizes are all over the place. Speaking of cartridges, okay, so these are some of the normal cartridges there are, except for the bottom row. The top row are the ones where they were marketing them more for the XEGS, where they had the fancier blue labels that actually said Atari XE on them. You probably can't read it on this, but the first one's David's Midnight Magic, which is a pinball game. Second one is One-on-One Larry Bird versus Dr. Julius Irving, which is a terrible basketball game. And the last one is Lode Runner, which is one I picked up used. And Lode Runner's been on just about every console I can think of this era, console and computer. Bottom row, or the middle row, these are ones where they were packaging them in the same cartridge shell, but they were, I guess, recycling their labels from the Atari 400, 800 era. So we got Donkey Kong Jr. with some unfortunate label damage and Jungle Hunt. And the bottom row, we've got some third-party games from a company called K-Byte and CBS Software, K-Razy Shootout and Crazy Antics. K-Byte insisted that all of their games be called K, which is stupid. But and those I picked up at a Goodwill at some point. Crazy Shootout is pretty decent. Antics, I've got the book, but I still couldn't make heads or tails of. So these are a few of the other games I have. These are from the these are the Atari 400, 800 line, and this is why my parents never knew the games were backwards compatible. Because those cartridges, they look quite different, and they got this weird teeth thing at the bottom of them that goes up. But Asteroids, Defender, Star Raiders, Pac Man, Kicks, Basketball, and Donkey Kong. The ones important to mention here are Star Raiders uses the keyboard, and I don't have a manual, and we're not going to be playing it because I don't have the keyboard hooked up to the console right now, just because of my space in here. Pac Man's a good version. Asteroids if you had the Atari 4, if you had the actual inflation is crazy, yeah. Well, it was expensive originally. I want to say, read from research that the console was originally like $200, but Atari was offering like a $100 rebate from what I've researched, because when they were trying to beat Nintendo, it was a, you know, hey, buy this, $200, but we'll give you a rebate. And you get a real joystick and a real keyboard. Asteroids, though, this version is a good party game, but not on the XE. If you had one of the Atari 400 computers, they had 4 controller ports, sort of like GameCube and Nintendo 64. And Asteroids is a 4-player. This is a 4-player simultaneous version of Asteroids, if y'all want to battle yourself in Asteroids, which would be pretty fun. Unfortunately, the XEGS only has 2 controller ports. And the other thing I do want to mention, which is very cool, Donkey Kong. Every single console version of Donkey Kong at this point, including the Nintendo Entertainment System, was missing the Pi Factory level. The Atari 400, 800 XE version of Donkey Kong is the only one. XEGX, XE, yeah. SEGS, no. That version of Donkey Kong has the Pi Factory level. It's the only one that does, which makes it cool. Oh, and one other thing to point out. Pretty much all of these Atari later repackaged in either first as these ones with recycling these silver labels, and then later, like Donkey Kong, they did eventually repackage it with the color label to try to, you know, sell it. But they were, to sell it to like more when audiences were starting to care more about labels and artwork, I guess. But it was the same cartridge. It was the same game. No changes. In fact, I think you pop it in and it's got like a copyright 1982 or something. These are my ones that I've got, which were with the silver labels. This is when Atari, yep. And the Atari 2600 had insane artwork. But for some reason, this is like a period with the computer cartridges where they went cheap. Atari went cheap 2 ways. First of all, they went cheap doing away with picture labels. And then eventually they changed them to these silver labels. And then eventually they went back to picture labels. And then unfortunately at the tail end of the Atari, and I've only got one like this, they changed the paper to be very cheap, like a lot of companies did, like Nintendo, and you can tell like I've got one cartridge from the tail end of the Atari XE, and you can tell it's cheap. Yeah, if they look like this now, people would assume it's some kind of bootleg or counterfeit. Yeah. Only ones to mention here, Ms. Pac Man, I think is an awesome version. Pole position on this is pretty good. Robotron, you can use as a twin stick shooter. There is a, heard of the game Centipede? Oh yeah, well, we'll do Centipede tonight. Centipede's fun. I do like Centipede. Robotron was a twin stick. You can play it twin stick or single. We'll be doing single tonight. They made an adapter, I guess Atari did, where you could put 2 joysticks in this holder so that they wouldn't run away from you, and then plug it into both control ports and play Robotron as a twin stick shooter. I wish I had that. That would be a cool little device. Joust is a good version. Moon Patrol, I don't know if we'll play it. I know it needs the keyboard for some of the functionality, unfortunately. But yeah, Centipede, good version. It's better if you've got a trackball control, which I don't have, but yeah. And last, we've got my boxed games. Centipede is good. And we got the sequel to it, too. My few boxed games I've got. Gentle jousting. No. My only boxed games I've got are... yeah, Joust is hard. Yeah, well, they were all quarter munchers originally. These were almost all arcade games designed to take your quarters. So my boxed games I've got are Dig Dug, which is in one of those first brown cartridges. Millipede, which is like the ones you just saw with the silver label and its sequel to Centipede. Food Fight, which is one of the last run Atari XE games, and that's an arcade game I never really played. And then I've got 2 by Sega down here. Oh, I'll come back. There's something I need to mention on Dig Dug. That's right. Dig Dug, before I mention the Sega... Oh, that's my little gem, the Star Trek. Before I mention the two Segas, Dig Dug, there were two versions, I guess, on this. The first version had some gameplay issues, and they went back and recoded it. This is the recoded version in the giant box, unfortunately. So these last two are Sega releases. I didn't take pictures of the cartridges, but they're pretty nifty black cartridges. The Congo Bongo, most of these boxes are all beat up. They're really crushed if you got up on them. But the one that isn't, and the only one that I keep on my shelf as a display piece, is my Star Trek. Because this is the Star Trek arcade game. The arcade game was a vector art thing, vector line art. And if you ever get a chance to play the Star Trek arcade game, I mean, it's simple, but it's fun. And the Atari XE version captures the gameplay pretty well. So we'll be doing that one tonight. So let me go ahead, because I am going to have to cut this off in about a little over an hour so I could get ready for the reading. Oh, and once again, if you're lurking, thanks for lurking. If you're VOD watching, thank you for VOD watching. If you are a new subscriber, thank you for pushing me to 2.7K. Almost 2.8K. And, you know, like I said earlier, and this isn't me complaining, but hopefully we can get this to start translating to some more live viewership too. Bang on. Or something. Let me go ahead and take us into the game room. Okay, one other thing to mention, the joystick. I will not be using the Atari joystick. The Atari XEGS is compatible with the Sega Genesis gamepad. Because Sega, I guess Atari could see the blast processing coming. So, hooray, I'm going to be using a Sega Genesis gamepad tonight just for the sake of that added blast processing. And let me pick out a cartridge. Hold on. Dig Dug amazing. Yeah, let me, in fact, that's a good place to start. Let's do Dig Dug. Let me get Dig Dug out. If I can find him. There it is. Dig Dug. Whoops. Oops, I just opened a new tab and I don't know how. Do you blow into your cartridges? So here's the thing with these Atari cartridges, and this is really interesting. I'm really, the Star Trek, oh, we're going to be playing that. I definitely want to show that Star Trek one. That is my gem. I just recently hunted that down. Now, let me mention it. The other game that I am desperate to get at some point, if I can find one in good shape at a price that I think will work for that shape, is there is a version on here of Mario Brothers, not Super Mario Brothers, but the Mario Brothers battle game, and it's arguably one of the best console ports. As far as blowing in the cartridges, I do on occasion. Now the Atari ones I can't really. They're the brown ones like this Dig Dug, they actually have a flap that closes over the pins, so you can't even do that, which is it's good, but it's also annoying because it means if you want to clean your games, you gotta like wiggle, you gotta like push toothpicks into it to pop open the little flap. Put Dig Dug in. Start with Dig Dug. Oh boy, we're going for realistic graphics. Namco, 1982. I am not a boomer. I did not have this in 1982. Oh, I got to push start. That's one of the bad things about the Ataris is most of the buttons, like start and select and option, they are on the console, so you got to reach up and push the big pastel Easter egg buttons on this thing. Woo! That is some arcade sound. Glad to see Namco still alive. Yeah. No matter how many people say blowing into the cartridge didn't work, oh yeah, definitely lying. Ah, there. Let's now Dig Dug's great because you shoot a bicycle pump into creatures and then you blow them up until they explode, because that isn't evil or gruesome or anything. Let me fix my volume just a pinch on this. Oh, he got away. I had 99% success rate. Yeah, it usually worked for me too. I still do it on some. Oh yeah, that's right. You can dig this way and crush them. Oh, well, it missed it. I read the saliva help with the connection. Well, I try not to get saliva into it. And that's another thing. They always said not to wipe them with rubbing alcohol. I'm telling you, I cleaned my games with 90% rubbing alcohol. And it never harmed any of them. Dig Dug the inflation game. Yeah. Yep. Well, and there is a sequel to this, which is on. I know the NES has it. Dig Dug 2, Trouble in Paradise, or something. Oh, hey, there we go. Can I crush it? Yay, you can crush them. No, you don't. Oh, it's getting away. Darn it. Now, there was a version of the original Dig Dug on NES too, but it was only in Japan on the Famicom. And I've never imported it. It's a little more than I'd like to pay for Dig Dug. I mean, Dig Dug's cool and all, but I always unalived myself with the rocks. Yeah, I always tried to avoid them. Oh, oops. Well, I unalived myself with that. And I'll only do this one for a few minutes so we can move on to some of the others. Yeah, this is one I recently picked up too. There's some guy on eBay who was selling brand new copies, even though the box is horribly crushed up. But yeah, so this was what I was stuck with as a kid to begin with. Everyone else playing your Mortal Kombats and your Resident Evil, and here I am for the beginning of my life. Playing Jungle Hunt and Donkey Kong Jr. And the thing is, like I said, it's one of those things that when you're a kid and there's better things that are out there, you don't really appreciate it as much as you do when you get older. I look at this thing now and I'm so happy that I had the chance to play it. Yeah, it's rare to keep something in good shape for so. I'm lucky that it works. In fact, I'm going to tell you, when I first powered it on last summer, I thought it was dead. It did not boot up. And then like 10 minutes later, I tried it again and it started working. Because it had just been in storage for so long, no one had touched it for decades. I wish I could say the same for my Laserdisc player, because my Laserdisc player sat around for like 6 months and it died. Storage for 6 months and it died. Yeah. Well, here, let's go ahead and real quick, let's do Centipede. I'm gonna save the Star Trek till a little later. Okay, so Centipede. Yeah. So Centipede was, well, the thing about this is it used a trackball originally. No, just start. There. So all it was is just, all Centipede is just blowing away the centipede and the spiders and any other bugs and not letting them hit you. That's it. Whoops, like I just got hit. But with a trackball, you can move around really, really fast. Whoops! Man, I am awful. Pro gamer. Yeah, I like Centipede. I still haven't played. There's a new version of it on Steam I picked up that I haven't played yet. Kind of been waiting. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, if you see it in an arcade, it's fun enough to waste a couple quarters on. I mean, there's no point to it. It's just scoring points, but Ah. Well, hell. Galaga, but harder. Well, I do have Galaxian. That's the precursor to Galaga, and kind of like Snake. I always liked Snake, the ones where you went around and ate the things. That was always fun. I'm gonna do one more round of this just because I did so horribly. Stop. Well, man. Hell. And the problem is, too, it shoots really slow. Unless the thing are really close to you that you're hitting. Because it won't fire another bullet. While one bullet's on the screen, it will not fire a second bullet. Yeah, we'll do Galaxian, which is pretty much just like Galaga. And Galaxian, I really like the version that's on here. It's got a weird sound to it that just, there's something about it. It feels creepy. Oh, but shoot. Well, last life on this. Yeah, not the most exciting way to celebrate 2.7K subs, but the truth is I couldn't think of anything else. And I didn't want to do the karaoke stream yet. I wanted to save that for Valentine's Day, kind of. Valentine or birthday. Hopefully I could do karaoke for Valentine's. Oh, that's the one with the busted flap. Okay. In fact, let me find that Galaxian real quick. Because that'd be a good choice. So Galaxian... which is the precursor. I think Galaga is considered a sequel to it. Galaxian, the Atari version, has a whatever works for you. So far, I'm enjoying it. Well, good. Well, good. I'm glad. Yeah, something different, something short. Galaxian, yeah, the Atari version's much different than the arcade. It's got a different look and a different... the look almost looks like it's somewhere between Galaxian and Galaga, if you've ever seen Galaga, but the sound, it's got this like creepy, constant hum to it. The only bad thing is sometimes the beeping sounds of like aliens flying down get stuck, and it's just ear grating. Great programming there. Oh, well, I said start. This is a great trip down memory lane. I really miss these older games and arcades. Even yes, theater arcades are where I played. That's where I first played Dig Dug, was in a theater. Well, I mean the arcade version. It was in a theater. And unfortunately, you don't have pause. So like me trying to tweak my volume is a disaster. Ah, whoops. The arcade I remember playing was Tekken. I got a lot of arcade memories. Oh my god, do they make similar noise? Yeah, they do. Well, it is the precursor. They're both Namco. Tekken and Soul Calibur, yeah. I've got Soul Calibur 2 on GameCube. That's the only one I've got, and I am so terrible. It's not even funny how terrible I am. Yeah, see there, the sound got stuck. Oh, that's ear grating. There we go. I'm just glad I'm able to play it with the Genesis gamepad instead of the Atari joystick, because, man, that Atari joystick, if you've ever used one of the Atari joysticks, they just aren't comfortable. They are not comfortable. Console was screaming, it'd be dying. Yeah, I know. Found out about Soul Blade was the original. Really? Okay, I think I've heard Soul Blade before mentioned. Oh, darn. Player 1. Bought it for PS1. Pretty cool. Nice, nice. I really do. Of all the consoles I regret not getting, and there are a few. I regret not getting the PS2. Not so much the PS1, but I regret not getting the PS2. Because backwards compatibility, for one thing, but, I regret not getting the PS2 because there were so many nice collections on it of arcade games. Lucky I got Rival School Fighting Game 2 copies. Oh, wow. I just remembered, man, there's another reason I wish I had a PS2. They had one of the Monkey Islands on PS2. They put Escape to Monkey Island was released on PS2. Now, Escape to Monkey Island's probably the lesser of the Monkey Island games, but still. I got a thing for the Monkey Island games. 200, 300. Nice. Well, it's a I swear, game stuff's a solid investment for now. Man, 200, 300. Hey. It's so sad that people can't afford to buy them anymore. I mean, it's great for people reselling, but it is sad. I wish things were like they were. Cost me 30 bucks. Nice, nice. Oh, who do we have coming in? Sarmilla 1998 just subscribed. Welcome in, welcome in. I am Madamus. This is the Back Library, and I am failing at Atari XEGS games. Got it from a yard sale. Nice. That's where you used to get your best stuff. Unfortunately, now with the internet, people look stuff up before they put in a yard sale half the time. Whoops. At least they do where I am. Ah. Okay, I'm gonna flip it to a different one. Still old folk be selling gold to me. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you gotta, yeah. When you can get someone, when you can get stuff like that, absolutely. People who don't know any better. They just want to get rid of it. Real quickly, I'm just going to pop it in so you can see what an incredible graphics upgrade it was from the original. Now, you saw how amazing Centipede was. And here is Millipede. Well, now the title screen looks good. And it actually, yeah, you can see with this one that it is, you can see that it is an upgrade. It is a clear upgrade. Yeah. So this is Millipede, the sequel to Centipede, which has these DDT things you can blow up, which will smoke the centipedes out. Centipede it plays a lot smoother, I mean, Millipede does than Centipede. And the controls, yeah, the controls work a lot. The controls feel a lot better. Oh, and it's got a lot more going on, too, apparently, with these flies and whatnot. Ah. Yeah, look more advanced. Yeah, they were doing, and that's the thing, because this is backwards compatible, so it looked, so this was designed for one of the later Atari computers then, where Centipede would have been still compatible. And there's a version of Millipede on the NES too, which I can't really make a stream of it, unfortunately, but it's pretty decent. And the weird thing is it's technically not any easier, but it does handle better, so whoops. So it feels easier. It feels like I'm able to get a little more. And we'll just do this one for a couple minutes since it's basically more of the same, just more advanced. Okay, what is darn it. One more, I think this is my last life. Well, balls. Okay, this is my last life. Yeah, I know, can't escape the balls. Even when there aren't any balls in the game. Welcome in, Super Shops. Welcome in. We're doing the 2.7 or 2.5 or 2. Whatever K special, and playing my first game console, which is not indicative of my age. It just happens to be my first console. This is the Atari XEGS, one of the more rare Atari systems. And this is Millipede, sequel to Centipede, with random stuff flying at me. 2.79. Gosh, yeah, we're almost at 2.8. It's hard to believe. It really is hard to believe. And later on tonight, we will be doing the Wizard of Oz, the last segment of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, the last live reading of it. That'll be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Whoops. And tomorrow, Lone Ranger in the afternoon. Which I'm really hoping will be the last Lone Ranger stream, not because I don't enjoy it, but just because I'd like to move on. Okay, well, no, and that's the end of Millipede. Here, let me grab something else. Let's see what else we got. Let me do one of the weirder ones, or one of the more interesting. Well, no. Let me do one of the weirder ones. Let me do one of these K-Byte cartridges, these K-Razy Shootout. Now, these are a third-party cartridge, so I don't think they were licensed, but they didn't, you know, Atari didn't have lockout chips like Nintendo did. But K-Razy Shootout is... The name isn't great, because of them trying to put K-Byte in all their name, but the game is actually something... Whoops, I forgot you can't run into the walls. Gotta remember not to run into the walls. And there's a timer, too. Oh. So you can stay in the room as long as you want and keep shooting stuff. Or you can move on. But there's a timer of how long you're allowed to stay. And I've never really read the manual for this one, so... Whoa! Apparently they can run into each other and blow each other up. That's kind of sucks for them. Whoops! And I ran into another wall. After this, we'll pick something a little more well-known. Oh, I guess they're all gone. I could go to the next room. Oh, entering Sector 2. Oh, okay. I see. Oh boy, they're shooting back now. Oh dear. Whoa. Whoops. Wow, okay, so when they blow up, if you run into their explosion, it kills you too. So I guess that's the end of that. Huh. Yeah. Not the best, but not a bad one to pick up at Goodwill for like $1 years ago. Let me see if there's something more interesting before we get to the real pièce de la résistance. Heck, let me pull those ones out. The really spectacular ones. We'll set out Joust. Robotron's great, but I'm going to set it as, I don't know if I'll do it. Miss Pac Man will do, probably. Set aside kicks just because it's interesting. We did, okay, Miss Pac Man, there it is. Pole position just because I'm terrible. Donkey Kongs and Jungle Hunt and Runner Midnight Magic. Those ones should do. Okay, and then the last of the day, we will finish it up eventually with Star Trek. I would definitely play these games, see what kind of score I would get. Yeah. And once when I found out this thing was still working, I did sit around for a while on Galaxian. Well, in the Star Trek game we'll get to, I definitely did sit around with it. Pole position, well, here, we'll go ahead and do that. We'll see, y'all can see how terrible I drive. Pole position's nice. I mean, it's no excuse for no substitute for the arcade version, but it's a Namco game, even if it did say Atari. Okay, let's see. Woo! Yeah. Poor man's F-Zero. Oh, whoops. Of course, it helps if you know what the controls are. F negative, yeah. I mean, it was good in its day, the arcade version. I did, one time I think I was in a bar or something, I found I remember a game like this on NES. Rad Racer, probably. Rad Racer on NES was great. I should do Rad Racer someday. Nope. Well, hell. Gonna make me goon for nostalgia. Yeah, it's funny how how this stuff you start playing and it makes you do that. Okay, I'm in low gear, so high gear. Yeah, this was one when I finally picked this up. So a bunch of these games, the ones I got new, and I remember this. They came from, there was a toy store going out of business where they pulled out all these Atari things from the back. And it was like right around the time that I learned the thing I had was backwards compatible. So got a ton of games at that point for, you know, a couple bucks because they didn't care. It wasn't Toys R Us, though. It was a different one. It was one that I think was more regional. I'm not sure. Game over. So I didn't even win? Yeah. Well, the NES ones, it just depends. The NES ones, I think, NES, I think the nostalgia holds up a bit more. Atari stuff is more, yeah. Get good, yeah, I know. Here, okay, well, that was pole position. I can't, moral of the story, I can't drive. Here, before I move on to Le Donkey Kong, let me go ahead and let's go ahead and get genital jousting out of the way. Yeah, so this console, even though it was released the same time as the Nintendo Entertainment System, they were recycling their existing stuff from the earlier 80s. Yeah, well, I wish. Yeah, so Joust is fun. Joust, or there was a channel I used to watch. If you've ever heard of Classic Game Room, they used to call it bird ass because the point is to hit the other birds with your ass. In fact, here we go. Bird ass. Bird ass. Yeah, I watched Classic Game Room. I loved Classic Game Room. And honestly, Classic Game Room is part of what got me back into missing my Atari stuff and digging out the XEGS. Whoops. It was watching some of their videos on the Atari 2600 things. Oh, hey. And the Vectrex. Man, I wish I had a Vectrex. Yay! Wow, I'm not doing bad. Bro got the money to collect all that. Yeah, well, I guess people used to send him stuff too. Which is nice. I mean, that's awesome. When you can have people sending you these games that are now in the multi-$100s. Because heaven knows now prices of them. Wow, I'm not doing horribly at this. I usually do. Ah. Okay, that was unfair. Oh, wow, there's a hand in the lava that reaches down to grab you. I never saw that before. That's cool. Well, no, you don't. You were saying, I don't know what I was saying. You foolish man. Yeah. You think you should survive this game? No. I've got this on NES too. Which is a lot better. I want to say there's a GameCube collection I've got it on too. Oh, hey. That's nice. I remember playing this. There was a roller skating rink when I was a little kid that still had a copy of this. Had a copy of this and had a copy of, I think it was Rastan. Game got so hard so fast. Yep. Eggs. Man, this make me hungry for eggs. Nope. Oh, balls. Worst part of the eggs, they spawn. Yeah, I know. Oh, wow. Man, how am I doing decently like this? That's not normal. Give me Smash Bro vibes. I'm being honest, if you had like a competitive version of this, it could be pretty fun. Now that I'm thinking about it, if you had like a real competitive version, yeah. I think this level is in Smash Bros. It should be. Oh, wow. Man, how do I do that? Oh, I gotta get that egg. Survival wave. I'm being honest with you. I usually suck a lot more at this than I am today. Man. No, you don't. Oh, well, maybe you do. I can't fly back. Oh, well, the devil got me. I got to say you're doing better than Child Me. I don't recall being... Yeah, neither do I. I'm doing better than Child Me, too. Oh, pterodactyl wave. Oh, it ate me. It got me. Oh, well, the game's over now. I don't think I ever got to the pterodactyl before. I didn't know there was a pterodactyl, chat. What else we got that's of interest? I know he's not here right now, but Luciano, I had no idea that thing was there. Yeah, I never survived that long before. So I know our friend Luciano, he mentioned before that he loved Lode Runner. Well, this is the really old school Lode Runner. Broderbund, 1987. Okay, so this is a late release. 83, but also 87. Okay. So this Lode Runner, if you've never played it, it's a single screen platformer where you grab barrels and you make guys fall. And after the first stage, it gets insanely difficult. And you can fall through the floors. They can't, but, I mean, you can actually drop down. They can't. Oh. And you can cause them to get killed buried alive, too. If they get stuck, if you put a bunch of holes next to each other, they can fall down and they, well, you can't get out either, but they will, get eaten by the floor because it grows back. Oh, I gotta get in that other hole. Ladder to heaven, yeah. Oh, no, okay. Well, there we go. I got trapped. This is a weird one, too, with the color, because you can see it's got color right now. If you don't have your stuff set up right, like if you, I know with emulation, the color is partially generated on this by using the flaws in composite signal. So, like in emulation, half the time this is a black and white game. Unless you get it set up exactly right. Thank you. And then I gotta worry about that last one. Oh, it won't let me eat through that floor. It's too thick. That's what she said. Oh, no, balls. Yeah, see, it gets really difficult really quick. That first level is fine, and then you get to the next one, and it's just a how the heck do you get through that other floor? In fact, I can't remember how to get through that. I don't know if I ever did. I really don't. Ah. Shoot. Man. Game ruined your, that's what she said. Yeah. Yeah, it did. Just missing Donkey Kong. Oh, we'll do Donkey Kong next. That's a good idea since it's got the extra stuff that's not in the NES release. Oh wow, I remember playing this in the past. Yeah, there was a version I know on Windows where Sierra like reissued it for Windows 98 or something. Which I was terrible at it, too. I don't think I've ever gotten past that level before. I really don't. All right, we'll do Donkey Kong next. Because I want to make sure we can get to Star Trek. I definitely want to get to Star Trek because Star Trek is... That's the gem. 1K for sure I've played... or I know for sure I played a game like this from the 2000s. Yeah, it's been remade a few times recently. In recent years, it's popped up again and again. Can't wait. Can't you put... oops, I can't move. Darn it. Can't you put cement on top of them or kill them, walk on top of them after? Yes. Yes, you can. They can fall in the hole, and then but you got to wait for the hole to grow back to kill them. I don't think you can fill it in yourself. But yeah, like... Yeah, you can... But it doesn't grow back fast enough. You gotta do, like, holes next to each other in order to... Oh, there it is. Okay, there's the ladder. Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever done this well before. Yeah, it does require good timing, which I do not have. This is one of those games I've always sucked at, even the modernized versions. Oh, hell. Well, oops. All right, try to get past this level, and then I will move on to Donkey Kong. Can I get up on the hole? Yes, good. Okay, there we go. Yay! Ah! Oh dear, and there they all are. I can't get to it in time, can't... Oh! They must have one of them. So I've got to knock them all down in order to find which one's got the thing. Oh, no, it's up on the ladder. It's right there. It's right there. Oh, the logo of the game company is... Was that? Oh, I didn't even realize that. I just thought it was like a smiling face. 15. Okay, yeah. We'll do this, and then we'll do... so they left it up on the ladder. That was my problem. Hell. All right. After this level, I'll probably go ahead and shut this one off just so that we can move on and make sure because I don't want to be late to the other stream. I really should have timed this differently tonight. Come on, run, 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 run. Nope. Oh, darn. Oops. Oh, God. I trapped myself. Okay, good. Good, good. And there it is at the top of that ladder. She'll probably go straight up now. Yep. Oh, my gosh. Holy Hannah. Yeah, this is a game that can make you rage quit. But I'm not rage quitting. I'm just quitting because of time. Let me move on to... let me go ahead and do Donkey Kong real quick. Just because Donkey Kong on this, like I said, it's got the Pie Factory level. Now, the problem with Atari, though, you have to have it set to a high enough level in order for it to let you get to all the levels. Like, if you start it on easy, it'll just let you do level 1 and 4. Two-player... no, I don't want select. Option, let's see. Here, I'm going to just do that. All right. Do. Oh, no, that's not good. I think I set the level too high. I think I did set it too high to get to the Pie Factory. Yeah, I did. Ah! Oh, that start music. Never knew where that was from until now. Yeah, yep, Donkey Kong. I think something simpler happened in OG. I'll have to read that in a second. In OG Donkey Kong, you have to beat like 3 times. There we go. 3 times or something to get all the levels. Not on NES. NES is, I don't know about the arcade, but I know the NES version is just flat out missing. It's just flat out missing a... Whoops! It's just flat out missing a level. Heard that start music and got memories of another old game which used it. Really? I'm not trying to get her purse. Forget it. Oops. Too far. Darn it. I just want to try to get to the pie factory, man. Ah, woo! Let's see if it takes me to the... Yes. Is it the pie factory? No, it didn't. I gotta be at a higher level to get to the pie factory. But trust me, this version does have the pie factory. We're not gonna get to the pie factory tonight, but it does have it. Yes. Not exactly, but yes. Okay. Ah, darn it. I thought I could jump over it. Guess not. Well, I like pie. Yeah. Well, we're not getting to the pie factory level tonight. That's Donkey Kong on the Atari. How much time we got? All right, one more and then I'll do Star Trek. Let's see. We'll do Jungle Hunt. Jungle Hunt or Miss Pac Man? I'm going to do Jungle Hunt, just because I like the title better. And this is an older one, but they repackaged this in the Atari the Atari XE fancier cartridge and tried to convince people it was a new game. Yeah, the arcade version of this is better because it's got like whoops. Hell. Right out of the gate. Oops, trying to be like Tarzan. Well, yeah, in fact, it's funny you bring that up. So the arcade version of this, there was originally a version in arcade called Jungle King, and it had, the character looked like Tarzan, and it had the Tarzan, cry, the Tarzan scream, and they got busted for copyright, so they retooled it into Jungle Hunt and just made it into random jungle guy trying to save someone from headhunters. But yeah, originally it was like a Tarzan thing, an unlicensed, unauthorized Tarzan game. Okay, I've never been able to hit these crocodile. Oh! Okay. I never was able to hit the crocodiles. And this was the problem, I remember. It was those air bubbles trying to get past that. Oops. I got crocked. Hitting crocs a common sport in Florida? Probably. Actually, I think it's illegal, but probably. Oh. Okay, we will go under that. And once again, if you're new to the channel, thank you for coming in. Thank you for checking us out. Welcome to the 2 point whatever it is, 7K, almost 8K, whoops. Sub special thing. Oh, well, it's game over. Well, hell. That was quick. That was quick. That was really quick, chat. Let's say we go to the pièce de résistance. I know I've said that phrase a few times, but let's do it. Let's do the big one. Let's do the big one, chat. If I can remember what the controls are. Because I don't have my manual on me. We are going to do Star Trek, the arcade game. And the arcade game itself was really cool. It was like a cockpit and it had vector graphics. I only encountered it once and it was amazing. It's one of those that if Arcade 1-Up would put out a replica of the Star Trek arcade game, I would play that. I mean, I would buy that thing. I'd find room. I would make room for it. I mean, it's not that special, but the arcade game, it was just so fun. Let me pick up a... Visit the bases and boom. No. Oh, shoot. Darn. Okay, I know that, like, back and... How do I do a... Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, this is the bases one. Okay. I'm getting confused. I thought it was a... There's another level where you have to, like, track Nomad or something. This one's just landing in bases and getting bonuses, I guess. Oh, that's nothing. Okay, so that's warp. I can't remember how to... Oh, okay, that's how to torpedo. No? I can't remember how to torpedo. Okay, I can't remember how to shoot torpedoes at all. So we won't be firing torpedoes at all tonight. Okay, oh, there it is. Nomad. Shoot. Yeah, I just can't, for the life of me, I can't remember. I remember playing Star Wars Starfighter on PS2. Nice, nice. I think they've got that out, the PC version. I think they've got... I want to say the PC version of that is available on GOG. Oh. Oh, dear. Okay. I don't know what the hell this is supposed to be. I really don't. I legit have no idea what's supposed to be going on right there. And for the life of me, I can't remember how to fire torpedoes on this. I can do, I'm not sure what I'm looking at. So basically, the top screen shows you where you are, and the bottom screen is firing. Is your target targeting thing? So the top screen is like your whatever your navigation, and the bottom shows you your targeting. And the green things are star bases, and the other things are all Klingon ships. And the star bases you can dock at to recharge, too. If you can get to them without getting yourself killed. And if you can save them from getting blown up. So you're supposed to be saving the star bases from the Klingons. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Well, trust me. Okay, let me put you this way, Omegs. If you played the arcade version, I encourage you to look up a gameplay of the arcade version. Because if you saw the arcade version, you'd know exactly what you were looking at. Believe me. And what you would be looking at would be awesome. Whoops. For the life of me, though, I can't remember how to fire torpedoes. Because you can fire torpedoes. No, you don't. You don't blow them up. No. And on the right side, the green dial is your shields. The bottom is your warp speed, which I don't usually use much. And the middle one, the red one, is your torpedoes, which for the life of me, I can't get to work. Oh dear. I'm in trouble. Yeah, you should check out Starfire if you like this. I'll have to sometime. I know I've got a TIE Fighter. I need to play that again someday. Oh dear. I'm almost dead. And this, I'm just trying... I couldn't hit Nomad. And I'm dead. Well, you gotta believe me, I was really happy when I ordered this about 6 months ago. Because I just got this, this thing just showed up in the mail for me about 6 months ago. I thought it was cool. We got time for one more thing. Let's see. Let me pick out something. I'm not gonna do that other Sega one, Congo Bongo, because it's terrible. Now let's just do some Ms. Pac-Man real quick. Oh, but it's funny you mentioned Star Wars. Well, it's not funny. There is the Star Wars arcade game is available on the Atari XEGS. Needless to say, I don't have it. I should look into seeing how much it is. You know, I say that, but I don't think I'd ever be revisiting it. I'd like to. It's available on this system. In fact, there are 2 Star Wars games: the original Star Wars arcade game, and there is a Return of the Jedi game. I don't know enough about it. Now, Ms. Pac-Man on this. This was a good edition of Ms. Pac-Man. I thought this was a really well done edition. Nope. Hell, balls. I suck. Did I mention how much I suck at the Pac games? Pac-Man, yeah, I've got the original Pac-Man on here too, but Ms. Pac-Man definitely shines more on the XE. Oh dear. Okay. Oh, there's the cherries. Gotta get those cherries. Gotta get my Hell. Well, I won't be getting the cherries. I won't be getting anything. I really suck at this game. I have always sucked at it. All right. But I really do think the Atari got a good... The XE got a good version of it. Regardless of how much I suck. Oh, that was a weird glitch. Oh boy, it's glitching. Don't tell me my thing's going dead. Well, we might be witnessing the end of my Atari. Because something's happening. I better... Yeah, I'm gonna pop that one out. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be a great way to do the to end the stream with my Atari dying on stream? That would just be amazing. All right, kicks. Here, I'll do kicks. Maybe it's just the Ms. Pac-Man. Hopefully it's not. Yeah. Hopefully it was just some dust. I hope it's not the case. Hopefully it's just some dust. If it starts doing it with other games, I'll worry about it. Okay, if you've never seen Kicks, this was by Taito, and these were in arcades, and they're weird. It's like trying to cover the surface and avoid the bouncing light. There's an NES port of this too. And the problem is if the light runs into your line while you're drawing it, you die. That bouncing light thing. Okay. And it seems like a nothing game, but it's actually really, it's nifty. There's something about this game that's nifty. Ah! What time is it? 9:34? Okay. We'll go for another 5 minutes. Oh, it's flickering again. Darn. Yeah. Yeah, something's going wrong. Game be freaking. Yeah. Honestly, it could be my power supply, because like I told you, the power supply on this thing, when I first dug this thing out of storage just about, I think, 6 months to a year ago, it wouldn't even turn on. And then it started working, and then now this is happening. It could be the power supply. So I'm banking on the power supply still. I'll probably clean the pins on it just in case. Do we have time for one last thing? 4 minutes. Yeah, I'll just go. And just so you can see how bad pinball was on the Atari XE. Or not. Try this again. Nope. Oh, wow. It's going to the self-test. Oh, dear. Select. Well. Yeah, it might be failing. It might be failing. Well, at least y'all got to see it happen. Oh, that's a heck of a way for it to go out. Wow, it's got RAM. I don't know if I'm going to let it finish the test. I'll just check it later. Darn. Yeah, let me, it's not smoking, is it? No. Let's try it one more time. Maybe it's the game. One more. Let me put one last cartridge back in. Let me do a different cartridge. Just out of curiosity, let's do Donkey Kong Jr. Just see if Junior's okay. Because maybe it's David's Midnight Madness. Okay, it must be that David's Midnight Magic. Because Donkey Kong Jr.'s booting up. Or that time, whoops, that time Mario was the bad guy. It looks okay now. It might just be something in the pins. Run something you ran earlier. I'll double check one of them, yeah. Let me do that real quick. Just out of curiosity, I'll put, let me put Lode Runner back in. Yeah, Lode Runner's booting up. And last thing, let me try one last time with David's Midnight Magic. It might just be the cartridge that needs, maybe it needs cleaned or something. Yeah, it's the cartridge. It's the pinball cartridge. It looks fine, so it might just, it could just be It could just be a failing cartridge. That's one of the bad things that happens is there have been reports about some Atari cartridges starting to fail. I'd only heard about it on 2600, but I tell you, it doesn't give me the best feeling for... It doesn't give me the best feeling for NES cartridges going forward, because if these are failing, those are next to go. Let me try it one more time. Ah, there we go. Yeah, maybe it just needed a good clean. Dust gets everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, so this is how bad pinball was on the Atari. Oops. Needless to say, I'll stick with my PC pinball. Well, shoot. The little, man, it's the tiniest pinball. The tiniest pinball. And this game will be the last thing we play today. Whoops. Well, that was... Holy crap, I suck. Yo, I suck. Yeah, that'll be the... I think that'll be probably where we leave it. Let me go ahead and take us back into the main library. Okay, so humble beginnings and then some. That was the Atari XEGS. That was the first console I was ever playing as a kid. Again, I'm not a boomer. I'm not dating myself. Well, I mean, I'm not dating myself either. But I'm, what? Huh? Yeah, but that was the first console I played. So, yeah, far cry from a lot of the stuff you see now. But it's fun. It's neat. I like the thing. And it's one of those things that when I was, like I said, when I was a little Madamus, I didn't really appreciate it quite as much as I do now. I don't think I got it. It's funny how nostalgia does work. Because... it's definitely caused me to go back, certainly. It's definitely caused me to go back and take a second look at it and really appreciate it more. I'm saying a lot. Sorry about that. So what we're going to do, let me just check one thing before I close all of this out. Okay. What we're going to do is I am just going to go ahead and raid it into, even though it's not really a raid, I'm going to raid it into the next stream because I do have coming up in the next 20 some odd minutes, we'll be doing the final part of the Wonderful Wizard of Oz read through. So we'll be finishing that up. Thank you to everyone who's recently subscribed. Thank you to everyone who's watched, who's VOD watched, who lurks. I really do appreciate it, and I genuinely am humble. Thank you for everyone who showed up in chat today. Omegs, Red, Super Shoffs. Really appreciate it. And like I've said, hopefully we can start getting the numbers, the live numbers bigger. Hopefully I can generate some content that'll draw in more people for live viewing. And yeah, we'll just keep growing from here. Because I'm really, the fact that the sub number keeps going up is really leaving me very hopeful for everything that's to come in the future. So thank you everyone for coming. Like I said, I'm going to set up to redirect into the lobby for the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. For the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, you don't have to go home. But, well, you kind of can stay. You can stay here because we're just going over there. Wonderful, Riz. Thank you, Omegs. Yeah, you can just go over here. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. If we would have had a few more viewers, I probably would have raided into someone else's stream just because I don't like raiding into my own stuff when it's something so different. And it is. The Wizard of Oz is going to be, I mean, that's obviously the reading stream's way different than this. And I'm very happy that the Atari must just have some dust in it and it hasn't blown up yet. So you don't have to go home. You can kind of stay here because we'll be going into the other things. So you can't, but you can. Yes, I can't figure out what I'm saying. Alrighty, I'll be raiding us into the waiting room for the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Thank you, everyone.